The last race of the day is upon us. We'll see Senior OK Groups B and C head out onto the circuit, and this is going to be an important one from a lot of the drivers. Everyone who's at the back of the grid deployed those tyres earlier on, and unfortunately won't have the legs on the rest of the field here to do some work. As there we go, got a camera full of Ricky Flynn, motorsport mechanic. Engines fire up. Drivers make their way out onto the circuit. Let's take you through that full starting lineup for the last race of the day. Christian Costor and Thibaut Ramekers on the front row of the grid. Oliver Kinmark and Mariano Lopez on row 2. Louis Cochet and Roman Cabiab block out row number 3. Luke Cornder and Scott Marsh go from row 4. Chiara Batigue and Davide Bataro. Matthew Higgins and Toby Gale lock out the top 6 rows, all of them fresh tyres on the left-hand side. Row 7, Joel Pokela, no fresh tyres on board. Will start alongside Phil Masvan, who has. Row 8 is Sebastiano Pavan and Simon Bulbarella, both fresh tyres. Row 9, Joe Turney, fresh tyres on the left-hand side. Luna Flusha deployed her set earlier on.
Then we have on row number 10, Jutta de Troscha and Hella Hakkinen. De Troscha with a fresh set of tyres as well. Row number 11, Ashton Sharp and Dean Pedersen. Tilianos Colossus and Hugo Marti. Most of them as well, apart from Colossus, with new slick tyres. Row number 13, Oliver Rasmussen, as well as Karl Ludard, Sebastian Elin and Sebastian Mins on row number 14. Row number 15, Alissa Sukunetti and Efim Durinov. At the back end, Mathis Ometre, Roberto Rodeo Sarghetta, Christian Moseman and Nawin Nati Fanon on the row number 17. And no one has still any new slick tires left at the back end of the grid, unlike what we can see at the forefront, where within the top 16, all drivers but one, Joel Pohola, who did it before, have decided to go for fresh sets of tires. Well, bon appetit to one of our fans watching along there and having a bit of a snack at the end of the day. It's been a long day for everybody, and if you are not with us just yet this weekend, I do believe that you might actually want to join us tomorrow, because there's some delicious food being sold here on the Asium Ring. Some Spanish churros and some delicious Belgian waffles, of which I've had the smell in the paddock through the course of the weekend. So you might want to have a taste and join us for Sunday.
Do me a favour, Gail. Can you say Belgian waffle again, please?
Okay, just for you there, Anthony. Belgian waffle.
Thank you. That's quite funny. Right, here we go. Didn't do it as well as you did last time. Here we go. We're racing. No, we're not. We're going around again. There we go. That's probably good, because we were not focused whatsoever on the start of that race. Right, yes. This, like we were mentioning earlier on, is still an important one here. Now, Daniel Kelleher has now got 212 points. According to my screen. Kenzo Krieger with 211. Now, there must have been something that happened in that previous race that has meant that Kelleher has gained a couple more points, actually, in that one, which means we'll look back at that one. Guillaume is doing that now in that previous race, because Kelleher was, at the end of the race, behind on points. So someone in between Craigie and Kelleher in that race got a penalty.
And not racing. It's because Sire playing games again. Just the pole man, please, Ben.
There you go. Martin Bean not happy there, and sending them round again. What have you ascertained there from that previous race?
Jacob Mikalev picked up a 5-second penalty, dropping him all the way down to P10, and he was actually P5, just in front of Daniel Kelleher, who gained 1 position as a result. To be confirmed, but that's what I can see from the result of the previous race.
Okay, so that means we're going to see a very interesting scenario here. Right, we are racing this time around, and oh my, Timo Ramekers got caught sleeping there. He's tumbled down the order as Costoya takes the lead of the race. Watch them through the chicane. Oh, a little bit feisty, but everyone gets through. Costoya in the lead, though. Timo Ramekers has tumbled to around about 7th place.
Oh my God, certainly at the start he had certainly foreseen in his head what just happened, and I need to see that again for Thibaut Ramekers, but the worst of the starts, even though he had might have been sufficient gap for him to finish still within the top 3 or even in the leading position, depending where he will finish on this one, but certainly not the start that we expect the Belgian to take, and that's opened the door for Christian Costoya and the rest of the pack making their way past. Up into second place is Oliver Kinmark, who couldn't ask for a better situation. Ramakers is down there looking over the shoulder and is about maybe to lose another place, because look at Matthew Higgins at the wheel of that energy machine into the chicane. Putting Ramakers under intense pressure down into the breaking point. Ramakers resist and fights back, take a position instead of losing one. Mariano Lopez is the first one to unfortunately drop a place with the Belgian passing through. Ramakers up to P6 behind Le Conde, Karabatig, Louis Cochet, Kinmark and Costoya. What a start for Karabatig, 5 places gained, and she's currently P4.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, a little bit of a twitch there, and Mariano Lopez just seemingly trying to keep control of the wagon right now. Right, points. Guillaume, Malad, Costoya, 238, Ramakers, 232, Kinmark, 214, Keller and Craigie tumble to 4th and 5th in the points. Louis Cochet goes up to 8th on the start-finish line. That's an incredible accident on the start-finish line, and my goodness me, was that Higgins into the barrier? It was the 345. The Briton on the start-finish straight makes incredible contact with that one. Your Popular is off the track as well.
Red flag,
and the red flag has come out. There is Your Popular. He's out of his car, but Matthew Higgins had taken an incredible hit there. And that is not what you want to see at all. The red flag is out. They will stop these drivers before that one. But that is an absurd, absurd scene on the start-finish straight. There is Scott Marsh walking away. And he's on his feet. There's a Pantano there into the wall as well. And that's Sebastiana Pavan. So that is incredible scenes. Not sure if Mariano Lopez there was part of that. He's not come through my screen either. And that is a big, big moment there on the start-finish straight. And obviously we do hope that all drivers there involved are okay. But that is a scary moment on the start-finish straight that at the moment marshals and medical crews are on scene. Yeah, let's have a look at how that happened. Okay, so Higgins has gone down the inside of the Fusion car. That move is done and dusted. It's when he's alongside Roman Kamiab here. So he talks to Kamiab. He says, right, let's go. Kamiab then, the car spears. That steering wheel turned. And that all happened from that. And I can't put a finger on that as to why that would have happened. But you can see he's just at this moment, yeah, they've communicated, looks, the steering wheel turns.
Yeah. Different angles and different contact as well, but scary incident, that's for sure. It was going against the marshal's wall, but he's talking in on his feet, a little bit of a bruise on the
moment on that one.
There
and
in the Parc Fermé, you cannot see it, but
yeah, I can see there is a DPK down there.
Yeah, that might be it, or it was taken away back to the 10th already. As you can see, Martin Bean, our race director, is the one giving the signal. Get those engines going again. The green flag is waving. That's a sign that the track is clear again. And thank you for sticking with us and waiting for this last race of the day, ladies and gentlemen, as this is the most important of all the qualifying heats of the day. And unfortunate incidents kept us waiting a little bit in the wings, but now seems to be good to go for the last 10 laps for this last race of the day. 18 qualifying heats today, 12 yesterday, 30 in total. And still, we don't have a pole sitter when it comes to the first super heat for tomorrow in the senior class. That will be decided at the end of this last showdown.
Yes, indeed. Now,
Martin Ben starts slowing them down at post 5 and 6. Slow them down all the way round. Want to go first time?
There we go. Martin Ben just securing that they are going slow for this single file restart. And yes, indeed, great work from the marshals over the course of this weekend to help keep the drivers as safe as humanly possible and keep them within the white lines on that circuit as well. Right, can confirm then that drivers who have not retaken to the circuit, Roman Kamiab, Matthew Higgins, Joao Popular and Scott Marsh have not restarted this race. And it will be a single file restart, which will have Christian Costoya at the front of the field for this restart, as he's bolted very early on, and the lights are going green. Are we racing? Yes, we are. Down in towards turn number 1. It is a good start then for Costoya, who breaks away at the front, seemingly unaware that the rest of the field there, Kinmark, was caught just that little bit sleeping on that restart. Louis Cochet is there in 3rd place. There, though, Thibaut Ramekers, who in the initial race start didn't have a good getaway. He is there back in 5th place as the top 4 have already started to break away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, first train indeed, as Ramekers is just in the middle of those 2 trains. Let's see what he can do, if he can get close to the upper part, and the leaders to join the party out of the number 10. We are good to go. Racing is on once again. Costoya, Kinmark, Crochet, Batig, Ramekers, Turney. 11 places gained before the red flag for the British driver. You can see him down as the battle is already taking another turn. A heated turn. Ramekers on Karabatig. The Swiss driver lost a bit of momentum on the outside of that last hairpin that allows the Belgian driver in. And he takes 4th place. Batig down in 5th under the pressure of Joe Turney. The last year's European champion in a bit of a trouble since the start of the weekend, having climbed through the field at every of his qualifying heat. He's doing the same, just won this one last time. Karabatig will be the one resisting certainly, but the Ramekers back in contention. Louis Cochet should be next. The Frenchman will give him a hard time, that's for sure. And confirmation of Roman Kamiab, black flag, nowhere to be seen again on the track for this race.
He didn't take the restart.
Yeah,
he wasn't given that opportunity to do so. So he's out of this race. Lopez tumbling down the order is down the inside. Joe Turney making the moves on Chiara Batig, stepping up into 5th place now as they head down in towards turn number 1. Joe Turney looking very strong at this stage of the weekend. Has actually looked very strong over the course of the weekend.
Yep.
Apart from that time qualifying mishap, he has been consistent and pushing his way through the order. There, Costoya is in the lead. He is joint on points at the moment with Thibaut Ramekers, both of them on 238. Ramekers needs 1 more position, and he would take the lead of the intermediate classification, take the 25 championship points away from Costoya, and have pole position for Superheat 1, and would squeeze Costoya down to pole position for Superheat 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, the mission is on for Thibaut Ramekers. Next up, Louis Cochet, the French driver from Victory Lane, has 0.2 of a second are splitting still Costoya and Kinmark. Christian Costoya, this year's European champion for the first time in that class, through the course of his first 4 qualifying heats, has been absolutely impeccable, really building on his wins with strong and imposing gaps every time. But this time around, the opposition seems to be in a way better shape as run inside. There goes Thibaut Ramekers on Louis Cochet. Ramekers up into P3 on the inside of turn number 7. So let's see if the Belgian will be able to catch up and make the contact first with Kinmark and give the chase to Christian Costoya. That's the battle we had been expecting. That's the duel that has been building through the qualifying heats up to this one. A little bit of an appetizer for things to come tomorrow. Around the inside goes Joe Turney. The British driver, after Chiara Batig, was able to make it stick for the 2nd victory driver in a row. And we see now the British driver up to P4.
Indeed, a nice change of positions there, and he's got a nice gap to the rest of him in front as Chiara Batig really getting the elbows out on a fellow teammate. And yes, indeed, utilising that error and stepping up now into 5th place. Turney now has a really good chance of closing in on Ramekers, who has now taken the lead of the intermediate classification. Joe Turney now could decide who starts on pole for Superheat 1 tomorrow, and this is quite interesting because all he cares about is getting as many places as he can.
Yeah, definitely so, because at this point he's nowhere to be seen within the top 8. Joe Turney, difficult qualifying, great recoveries all throughout, but it will be still one to watch coming to the Superheat and the final. We've been used to see Joe Turney fighting his way through the races at most of his race weekends, and waiting for the last 2 or the final to deliver its full force. But now Ramekers and Turney battle once again. Those two have been fighting each other in the OK class for quite a while now. And a confirmation of the pace of the British driver. Fastest lap in this one, 50.1. as run the inside. This is a little bit further back behind one of the Iron Dames. The battle between the Car Republics with Jethro de Trosha as well as Dean Pedersen, as we had Aston Sharp as well as Luna Flusha. She was the one just in front, making her way past both de Trosha and Dean Pedersen by the look of it. So Luna Flusha up to P14 as it is. Confirmation on the left side. Pedersen and de Trosha just behind. Ella Hakkinen still with us. Not the best of luck for the daughter of two-time F1 world champion Mika Hakkinen. But she's still doing the job now, climbing 3 places up to 17 from Hedin, Sebastian Hedin, Lopez, Rasmussen and the rest. As the teammates of Victory Lanes, Cara Batigue and Louis Cochet, watch out not to do anything unwise into this last qualifying heat of the day. But while they battle, look at Botaro, the CRT driver, diving through the inside of Cara Batigue, losing another place. The Swiss driver down to 7, and Davide Botaro up into 6 and doing a bit of a recovery. But it's going to have to shut that door because Cara Batigue still has the pace to switch those positions potentially.
Yes, indeed. We'll keep a close eye on this fight as the race nearing its conclusion here. Luc Corner trying to gain as many places as he can back. If we can get past Cara Batigue, that will get him back into where he started this race, and he sends it down the inside and gets that move done. But let's see how that progresses for the rest of this race, because right now still in a very strong position here is Luc Corner. But let's see how it all ends at the end of this race, because, like you say, nearly coming to a conclusion. Aston Sharp now, the fastest driver out there, 50.029. That's incredibly quick pace at this stage of the weekend, but still pushing as hard as he can. Joe Turney seemingly still half a second off the back of Thibaut Ramekers. He has not been able to pile on that pressure enough. So for Ramekers here, he's looking at a pole position start for the Superheats tomorrow in Superheat 1 alongside Oliver Kinmark, and Costoya will be looking at a start alongside Daniel Kelleher at this rate. And
if it stays like it is, that will be the first time this season that Thibaut Ramekers will end up leading the qualifying heat classification. We've had the likes of Costoya, Turney, Scott Marsh and Thomas Pradi and Rugby who all ended up as Saturday leader after the qualifying heat. So if it stays like it is, that will be a first for Thibaut Ramekers, who came before Christian Stadt being classified third in the overall standings behind Kenzo Craigie and Costoya. So points will be added at the end of this race. 25 for the Belgian driver currently in the lead of the classification. So calculations will be made as we'll have a new standing for the championship tomorrow before another 25 points added to the leader at the end of the superheats, and some more after the final. But Costoya, your race leader, 7/10 of a second now, pulling away from Oliver Kinmark, who's been one of the local sensations in the senior field, that's for sure, picking up that win in those slippery wet conditions in great fashion. And this is how it looks for now. Ramekers 3 points away from Costoya. Kinmark being third overall, that means that he would get to start alongside Thibaut Ramekers for the superheat number 1, and Daniel Kelleher will be alongside Costoya for superheat number 2. But for that, you just need to make it through the checkered flag, and it seems to be done, and that's it for good for Christian Costoya on his way to victory number 4. What a beautiful display of performance for Christian Costoya. Another win in the bag, the 4th one on equal points, on equal number of victories with Thibaut Ramekers, but missing out on just 3 points on the overall lead. Still, the job is done, and in a beautiful fashion for Christian Costoya, picking up that last race of the day. That means, if he stays like it is, that he will pick up pole position for the superheat number 2. Well done to this young man, Joe Turney, 13 places gained, 17 on the grid, 4th at the end. His best race so far in the qualifying races for Joe Turney. And as for now, we have finally our 2 pole sitters, if it stays like it is, for the tomorrow superheat, Thibaut Ramekers and Christian Costoya, with Louis Couchet, thanks to his result, picking up 8th place overall. Now, Costoya from Oliver Kinmark and Thibaut Ramekers, that's the top 3 in this final of the 30 qualifying heats that we had since yesterday. Joe Turney 4th, from Louis Couchet 5th, from Davide Botaro, Luc Corner, Cara Batigue, Simon Bulbarella, Toby Gale running at the top 10, followed by Sebastian Opavan, Aston Sharp. Then we have Vilmos Svan, Luna Flusha, Dean Pedersen, Ella Hakkinen, Mariano Lopez, Jethro de Trosha, Sebastian Hedin, F in the Renov P20,